In this series, two people that have never built a house before are building a house from the ground up. In the last episode, we framed our very first load-bearing walls, and the basement is officially done. In this episode, we're taking a huge step forward and moving on to the second story. And that means rolling out the floor joists and the subfloor sheathing. By the end of this video, we're gonna be able to walk around up here. So let's get to building.
I think today the weather looks good. We'll get this floor up. Then we dried in almost, Riley. You know what I mean?
At least in the man cave.
Yeah, I don't care about the rest of it.
Well, you heard it, folks. Andy's feeling optimistic. Let's get to work. Andy's working on installing top plate ties, and I'm gonna start laying out the floor joists. We're gonna have a rim board here, and then our first joist here. Our joists are 2.5 inches wide, 2.5. So now if I line up my two, that means our joist goes here. Now I'm gonna put a screw in on the edge of my joist. That's perfect. So we learned yesterday that if we only put one line, even with the little X, we tended to put studs on the wrong side of the line. So Courtney's going through, she's putting two lines with an X in the middle, so we know that the joist has to land between our two lines. Oh, but Courtney stole my marker.
What do you say when?
Not much.
Exactly, because we need to start using
our muscles instead of our brains. Too much equipment. This is called rim board. This is gonna both support the end of our floor joists and give something for our non-load bearing wall above it to tie into. Find a spot where we're flush with our sill plate. Woo!
Did that just fire down?
Well, I need to go get safety glasses because the nail glanced off and shot somewhere into the abyss. Oh, there it is.
So it ricocheted off the wood.
There we go.
Oh, that's lovely, that, mate. Do you want to cut this board?
No.
I wish you didn't tell me price.
Do you guys know how long I've been thinking about this step? We're about to have the man cave back. Who's ready?
For a burrito? Or for working?
My concern is that when we undo this last band, all of these are gonna be like dominoes out into the road.
There you go, Riley. It's fixed.
That was anticlimactic. Why didn't we get these closer with the excavator?
Oh, that's the lamppost. I think this end's being cut with a knife and fork. I think you'd have to try to make it that bad.
Okay, bump it up. Crazy that something this light can be so strong.
To you.
Yep, there you go. Now we're working smarter, not harder, carrying two at a time.
So this is like the theme of Riley's life, is power tools for everything. So these pencils, it comes with a power tool, pencil sharpener. And this is a two-man job, by the way.
Oh.
Come on, let's do a bit more. Go.
I watched a video this morning about basically how to do what we're doing right now. It's tips and tricks and stuff. And the guy in the video said, like, this is one of the most satisfying parts of an entire house built because so much happens in like an hour. These joists come 80 feet long to the lumberyard, and then they cut them to 40 feet for us. So there's one edge that's factory and one edge that's been cut with a chainsaw. So we're making sure that our factory edge is the edge that we're butting up to this rim joist. And then we'll cut the other end to length.
Re-energized.
I feel a lot better now. I had nacho cheese corn chips. I had a energy bar.
So if you're watching this in England, that's crisps. It's not like chips like fish and chips.
Oh, that sounds good.
That does sound good.
Whoa, too hard, Andy. That man is too strong. This wasn't that bad at all, huh?
No.
They're really not that heavy.
I wouldn't want to do it by myself though. We've got a pergondola.
My mind has been thinking about this floor system for like 3 weeks now, trying to figure out all the little details. Like, it seems so simple, but there's a lot of little details that are very important that goes into these floor systems. Now that all the joists are laid down flat, we're gonna snap a chalk line and cut them to length.
I only just worked out last night that you can use that back there to line up there.
Yeah, I added chalk to it the other day. Do you guys have a recommendation on what color chalk is the best chalk? I'm not sold on the blue. That wasn't right. Things aren't perfectly flat, and so we can't get the chalk line to snap an accurate line, and somehow I managed to snap a line that was a 1/4 inch off. Instead, we're just gonna transfer it with the speed square.
So save your recommendations for chalk because we don't know how to use a chalk line.
That's perfect. Checking things out. Okay, ready? Who's ready? I don't like the straight edge.
It moved a bit, didn't it?
Do you have your little mini pencil?
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Stop! Everyone, look around. I haven't even used it yet. I put it in my miniature pocket. I thought that's what these pockets were for small pencils.
I learned this trick from Marty. Disables the safety.
That's the most impressive thing I've ever seen you do.
Really?
Yeah.
I must not be very impressive.
Well, you're very average.
We're gonna check one before we cut all of them. Now we just stand it up.
Is it on your mark?
No.
Mine's on my mark. This has got 3 inches now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I messed up and I didn't check them. All the rest of them are bumped up and this one wasn't.
I'm just pulling your tail.
Are you serious? Okay, here we go. We're cutting all of them now.
Need help? Don't you know how to do it? Be smarter than the tool, Riley. Right. Smarter than the tool. Is this a trick? Why is there 2 like threaded pieces there? Is there something in the box? We'll just tape it to it. Yeah, but what are these threaded pieces for? Is it a hammer? Wow. YouTube.
This doesn't seem right. We can't even figure out how to work a power tool. How are we supposed to build a house?
We're building a house!
We're building a house. Am I qualified? No. Well, the next step is going to be to stand each one of these up as we go along and make sure it's nailed in the right spot over there. Big props to Awesome Framer on YouTube for the idea on how to do this. I'm down there taking a break and I hear of the nail gun and it's like, no, stop. The nailing is very specific.
I know that I did it on purpose. I fired it into this branch because I knew he'd think, don't start without me. We'll nail it to this one and it'll stay down. There we go. Oh.
Andy. Dandy.
It's a happy level.
2 nails in the bottom, offset from each other so that we don't split the rim board, and also at an angle because these are 3 1/4 inch nails and we don't want to overdrive them. Also, these are galvanized nails because we're going into pressure treated lumber. So one's gonna go here. And then I don't want the other one in plane. I want it slightly offset. We make sure that we're dandy. And then it's just 1 nail in this way, 1 nail in the bottom. That's it. So each side only gets 4 nails.
You all live in sheds when you could live in stone buildings and whatever. But I think basically any country just uses whatever's around them, don't they?
Especially up here in the Northwest where we have basically unlimited wood. Edge to edge should be 16. Boom. Now we just keep going all the way down.
Not hardly working. Yep. Oh no, it just hit me in the face.
Now I'm toenailing the rim board down into the sill plate every 6 inches all the way down. And it is way more solid than when we tacked it up here before. Boom! Oh wow, that one missed. There we go. Wow.
Just feel like we're making progress now,
Do
eh?
you feel how strong that is?
Do the kick test.
Like, solid, solid. That is so cool. I think we should do the middle now so that we don't end, like if we did the end and then the middle, we can end up with a S in it. Oh yeah, look how straight that is though. Okay, now we just line each joist up on our marks that we made earlier. So that's one of the dangers of being too close to the end. I think you're supposed to be at least 1.5 inches. That's not 1.5 inches, so. Rim board. I like the smooth side out. I don't know why, I just do. Okay.
Whoa!
What are you doing?
I was trying to avoid the pebbles and the post, and I hit the post.
Now I'm cutting our last piece of rim joist to length. I think we're gonna have enough left over to make a window header out of it, so that's pretty cool.
Is that right?
No, it needs to go your way.
It's up here.
I guess I measured wrong. Better too long than too short. Again.
What's that? Fool me once, whatever.
The issue is that our sill plate is not perfectly flat. Because of that, this rim board isn't sitting all the way down over there, so then we wouldn't have a flat floor. So we need to just cut a little bit off of our rim board so that it'll set down, and we'll eliminate this gap.
Wow, look at that. Snowing. I don't know if I like this tool.
So I've got my little line here that kind of helps guide me on how much to take off, and I'm just gonna take a few whacks off and then we'll set it back down and see what it looks like. Andy wants to know if I'm gonna practice, and the answer is
Remember, you can always take off, but you can't put it back on, Riley.
you can when you're welding. That was pretty cool.
Whoa, look at this. In the shade, under the electric, 2 flies shagging.
You good?
That's on.
That's a lot better. And these line up now almost.
Yep. Yep.
We're almost back to where we were at 3 weeks ago. Just whistling a tune. I'm actually just waiting for that Andy guy. My end looks like a chainsaw cut it. What's your end look like?
Good.
Yeah?
Which is the top? This one.
Yep.
I swear, I got a splinter in the gap in my gloves.
Who made this hill so steep? Woo! Woo! We're getting set up to start doing our blocking. We're gonna be using our 2 last eye joists to make short blocks that are gonna go in between these all the way down. That keeps the joist from being able to roll and help stiffen up the floor.
Don't want no creaks.
No creaks, no squeaks. Just my voice squeaking. He's a strong one, that guy. What's a house, Courtney? Glue and screws. Pretty crazy how strong this stuff gets when it's all together and long and installed right.
Lovely. There we go. Right, we need to shuffle, do the truffle shuffle on this.
If we don't waste any, Andy, there might be enough left over for you to use one for the floor of your house.
Look at that, eh?
Okay, here we go. Second block going in. Oh, that fits nice, Andy. I am so happy with how today went. I kept watching videos about how to do this, and they would talk about how laying the joist was their absolute favorite day of framing, but to me it just looked intimidating and daunting. But now that we've done it, I agree, because look, in one day, look how much progress we made. So cool. I can't wait to start laying the subfloor, and we'll see you tomorrow. When we found out that Boone needed immediate heart surgery, we were crushed. The night before the surgery, I let Boone greet everyone at the hotel, eat ice cream for dinner, and sleep in his own queen-size bed. The vet said that other than his heart, he's in great shape, and that was a big part of why his recovery went so well. If it was up to Boone, he'd probably eat ice cream for every meal, but we wanted to make sure we were feeding him the best food possible. And with that, I'd like to say thank you to Sundays for sponsoring this video. Unlike other dog foods that are made with hyper-processed grains and synthetic vitamins, Sundays uses only real ingredients. They're real foods that you likely eat yourself, things like blueberries, carrots, and apples. It's 100% human grade from start to finish, 90% meat, 10% superfoods, and 0% synthetics. What really matters to Boone is taste, so let's see what he thinks. If you'd like to improve your dog's nutrition, you can get 50% off your order by heading to sundaysfordogs.com/ambition or use the code AMBITION at checkout. And thanks again to Sundays for sponsoring this video. Good Sunday morning. I woke up really excited to work on this some more, so I gave Andy a call and he agreed to come down. We've got plans with the family later to go out on the boat, but we're gonna get a few hours of work done and see if we can get this floor framing wrapped up. If you're wondering about what's going on with my lip, head on over to our Instagram where you'll find out that I got stung by a yellow jacket and my lip swelled up so big.
We've got the site manager this morning with us.
Oliver, are you gonna run the saw for us today? How many tools have you handed me this morning?
All of them.
I was not prepared when I came up here. All right, Andy's cutting blocks. I'm installing them, and let's get this blocking done. My Jenga tower is not well stacked.
Do I need to wear a hard hat now?
I would recommend that you wear a hard hat. Hi, Oliver. Hi, Oliver. Towards you? Oh, nice, Andy.
Because that's definitely the most expensive piece of wood I've ever cut.
These 20 series eye joists that are rated for 1,700 pounds per linear foot of crush force. We have our rim board that's rated for like 3,400 pounds per linear foot. And I think this LVL is something like 20,000 pounds, or it's an insane amount of weight that this LVL can hold when continuously supported on a foundation like this. This was like $3 and something per linear foot. This one was $7 and this one was $9. It doesn't matter how many times I do it, I'm still afraid of heights. So you can see out here, these 40-foot span joists, these ones out here like are not well supported, they want to roll. So what this blocking does is it breaks our midspan right over our center wall to keep these joists from rolling. It also gives us a better load path because we're gonna have a shear wall in our second story above this point. That's gonna allow us to transfer the wind and bending loads of our front wall into our shear wall, through our floor in this blocking, into the load-bearing wall below, and all the way down to the foundations. This blocking adds a ton of strength to our building structure. Little daddy daycare today. So it's Oliver's nap time. Got some blackout shades in the truck. We put Andy's phone in there on FaceTime so we can keep an eye on him during his nap. And because it's a lightning, we can run the air conditioning even with the truck off. I hope you have a good nap, buddy. We'll see you in an hour, okay?
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye. Have a nice sleep.
Your phone's all set up?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're gonna install blocking in this first bay all the way down to help support the wall that's gonna be on top of this. And it's important that this blocking also be on layout so that every time there's a block in here, it lines up with the stud that's going to be above it. So our first block is centered here on 24. Then I pound a nail on the edge of where that block is going to be. And now we can measure from here down every 2 feet. So I've already made my mark and an X. It's saying put my block on this side of the mark. Mark and an X, the block goes on this side. We just run all the way down now. All the layout measuring that we're doing the entire time we build this house, we're always going off of the north wall and going down. I chose the north wall because the north wall is the wall that's square to this back wall. 13.
I'm going to cut these at 13 inches and we need 19 of them. Get something to protect my eyes.
Because?
Safety first, mate.
No, because?
Because the boss is going to edit these videos.
There we go. 2 blocks down and 18 to go. That feels stout. Like I can't move that at all. Okay, halfway done. So we've got, what, 10 blocks to go? So I'm adding a second block here that's gonna tie our 2 pieces of LVL together. Technically, it probably would have been better for this to be a single 40, but I don't have a way to transport a 40 down the road, and I couldn't wait for delivery, so I think that's gonna work just fine like that. I know that this back wall is not perfectly flat. I know it kind of goes up in the middle and then goes back down again. So this is our opportunity to fix it so that our house ends up perfectly flat. So our plan now is to run a chalk line all the way down this thing, pull it as tight as we can, and snap it. Then we're gonna use the planer and plane the top of this down until it is flat. Oh, I think I over-exaggerated the problem.
That's not bad, eh?
No, it's like 1/8 of an inch. So I guess my concrete grinding was more effective than I realized. A strong connection is a tight connection. So I'm gonna shim this out a little bit before we put these nails in. That's my alarm to wake up Oliver from his nap. There we go. Oliver, what's Andy doing? Andy's going out and he's planing the top of the blocks to make sure that they're flat to the top of the LVL and to the top of the eye joist so that our OSB sheathing will then sit nice and flat on top of that. No gaps and no cracks for a squeak-free floor. I think that's it for the day, but we made a lot of progress for just, what, we were down here for 2.5 hours? And now we're gonna go spend the rest of the day with the family. Huh, Oliver? Good morning. Andy and I are back at it today trying to wrap up the framing of this floor. Yesterday we got this LVL installed across the front as a rim board, and we got all of this blocking done all the way down this side. We need to do the same detail on the other side of the building, but before we can do that, there's something really important that we don't want to forget. We need to get the main line of our plumbing run because it's going to go perpendicular across all these joists, and we're not going to be able to get it in once we have that LVL rim board across the front of the building because we don't want to drill through that rim board. The spot that we decided that makes the most sense for our plumbing drain is in line with this pipe here. This is where the mobile home used to tie into the septic system, so it's going to be the easiest place for us to tie into the septic on this property. We're just going to go in line with this all the way down the studs, put a 90 in, and drop down into this. It's my nemesis right here.
What is that thing?
Brum, brum. You don't want to end up on the wrong end of this thing. I think they call this a break your arm drill. We need a minimum of 1/8 of an inch of slope. I don't know that I want to go to the full minimum. So I'm gonna go 3/16. So that's gonna be somewhere between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 inch per foot. Every stud bay now, I'm gonna drop by a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch. So I'll mark, you drill.
And then I'm not going to be in trouble if it's wrong.
Exactly.
Are you ready?
Yeah?
I've never used one of these little bad boys before.
Oh. Oh.
Nice. There we go. What can we make with these? What if we play a trick on the girls and we'll make cookies, but we'll put a cookie dough around them so then when they bite into it,
Is it helpful if I circle the mark like that? I saw that on Perkins Brothers last night. They circled all the holes.
Well, just in case I put a triangle there.
Yeah. Andy can't be trusted with a ruler in fractions, so I'm marking, he's drilling. We're gonna get this done.
Sorry, Courtney, I didn't mean to burp into that.
There are some smells coming out of the end of this thing. Wow. We got drilled all the way to here, sloping this way. And now as we go out this way, we're sloping back the other way so that both ends are gonna drain to here. This side is gonna be for draining the master bathroom. This side is gonna be for draining the second bathroom and the kitchen. Nice, Andy. Last one. Now we can slide the pipe in.
Poop shoot day.
Are you doing the poop shoot boogie? So because we're only serving one toilet per waistline, 3 inches completely sufficient and code acceptable. I think it's up to, if we had 3 toilets on one waistline, then we need to go up to a 4-inch. I'm really, really glad we thought to put that in now so we didn't have to like do a coupling between every single one. Because I don't know how else you'd get this in later, like after the fact. With the poo pipe in, we can move on to finishing out this LVL across the front and all the same blocking that we did on the back. You good?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How are you doing that?
Been walking since I was 1 year old, Riley.
Yeah, but like...
That feels a bit dodgier though when you get to the end, doesn't it? Just put it on this beam here. Are you ready?
Yeah, you feel good?
Yep. There we go.
Nice.
I'll just get a screw in the end.
Just like the other side, it's time to mark our 24 on center layout from the end all the way down this end wall. The only difference is that now instead of standing on the ground, we're standing up in the air on top of a roof structure. Okay, Andy, the only goal is not to fall.
What, the only goal?
Well, that's my only goal.
I think we need to build a house as well.
That's true. If safety were first, we wouldn't get anything done. Oh, that's not comfortable at all. Those things move.
I was thinking about putting a board across for you.
I think we're going to want a board because otherwise we're gonna have to do all of this work from ladders. Woo! I'm going down. I'm yelling timber. Okay, I'm coming down off the roof because this is sketchy. Ah! Look out below. If you've been around the channel for a while, then you already know that I'm afraid of heights, or at least afraid of falling. And I can't figure out how I'm gonna build that up there safely, so we decided we're gonna haul our sheathing up there. The sheathing needs to go up there anyways. We're gonna make a temporary little platform so that we can do all this work not up on ladders. How did I get by before I owned an excavator? Oops.
We've damaged one board.
That was nerve-wracking with that power line overhead right there. And I realized the way I was carrying it, I was gonna hit the power line and I had to like snorkel out, but then there's all that weight out there and it's like, yeah, well, we damaged one, but good thing I ordered 3 extra. That was less exciting than I thought it would be. Don't fall, Andy. You're a bigger man than I am.
Yeah, that's nice. We should have probably just done this before.
Do you think I'm heavy enough with this that if I pick it up and stand on the end of the trailer will tip and I can just step off?
Watch your truck, don't jump off. It might flick forward.
Now what do I do?
I go backwards. Let's be adults about this. Do you want to pass me it? Oh, we've got another bug.
Huh?
We've got another bug. Look, he's got Biggie.
You got it?
Yeah. Like a glove. I mean, not all gloves fit perfect, do they?
It is so close. Pop a little screw in. Now I can use my hammer to pull this out. There we go. What's Kyle at RR say? Like something about put the wood where you want it, not where it wants it, or something like that. Oh, once we get this blocking done, we can lay our floor sheathing down. Once the floor sheathing's down, we can start framing exterior walls. Yep. You know, boss, you told us that not everything has to be a two-person job, but we did get this done 4 times faster.
I bet that's 5 times quicker. There we go.
Last block, we're just putting one extra block right here in the corner where our exterior wall is gonna sit to give us a little more to nail into. That means we can move on to the next step, which is sheathing the floor.
Is it sheathing or sheeting?
I don't know, so I just sort of try to say a word that sounds like it could be both. Nice. Left. 6-inch perimeter spacing and 12-inch field spacing, so I just put marks on my nail gun. So as I go along, boom, I know where that spot is. Andy looks ready, I'm ready. Are you guys ready? First sheet going on. The goal of the glue is to make the floor tight, although I've been reading lately that the squeaking is actually caused by loose nails, not from the glue or from the wood.
First sheet going in.
Yep, looks good. In the past, Courtney and I have always used screws for this part, but this just seemed like way too big of a floor to use screws on. So this time around, I'm using ring shank nails in our nail gun. The rings on this make it so that they hold tighter and don't want to pull out. So the goal with that is to have a squeak-free floor. Okay, we're lined up. I want this one at 16. Right now it's at 15.5, which means that this joist has rolled underneath this floor. So before we nail this, this is our chance to make sure that we're at our 16 on center layout. And now it's every 6 inches on the edges and 12 in the field. So we're gonna go, I'm going a little too close. Second sheet going down. Andy, I think you just revolutionized the construction industry by pre-marking this layout. I'm happy with that. 2 boards and we used a whole tube of glue? I don't know, how much glue do we have? We just found out that the rate we're using glue, we're not gonna have enough. So Andy, I'm not telling you you can't use glue. I'm saying you have to put the right amount, but use less. Courtney, I'm doing it. I'm walking on the floor like Andy does. Oh, I'm doing it. Woo, safety.
A new way around, eh?
Was that different than last time? I drive Courtney crazy because I do things different every single time. The dimensions of this house actually work out perfect since it's 28 feet that way. We have a half a sheet on the end, and then we can take the other half of that sheet to start our next row, and that's gonna automatically stagger us. We're gonna have almost 0 waste on the OSB sheathing. Contractor pro tip, you just throw your garbage down in whatever cavity is gonna get covered up so no one else has to clean it up or ever sees it again. And then next we're gonna lay it in the groove here. That's nice, those still line up well. Yeah, I don't know, I watched one guy, he has this technique where he like does a little dance move and it pounds it in, but I don't think I'm doing that one. 16, this one's good. 32. Another installation detail of this stuff is you're supposed to stagger the seams. So in our layout, the best way to do that and make the best use of material is to stagger them at the halfway point. So our half a sheet from that end starts this next row. I think we need a bigger hammer. Oh yeah, that's the right hammer for the job, Andy. Every single time you check the joists, because this is the opportunity to make sure all the joists are straight, which is gonna make sure the joists are plumb and therefore in their strongest axis. Yeah. Could you imagine putting screws for every one of these? I feel like I've been concentrating, like super focused for 30 minutes and we've gotten half the floor done. I mean, I guess it's only like a quarter of the floor, but still, we're cruising. Yep. How's it looking? That's literally perfect. We have our 1/8 inch gap. Dude, when I lined up, like Courtney, come on, look at this.
Looks like it's been planed.
I'd be happy with this if it was on a kitchen cabinet. But look, it's lined up on the corner. I'm feeling like all that hard work that we did to lay all of this stuff out is really paying off on this step of the project. Is this nostalgic for you, Courtney?
So nostalgic.
Well, it's a little different this time around. Courtney, why is this sheet green?
Somebody's done a burnout on here.
Yeah, with a forklift.
It's going to be interesting when we go underneath and look and see how many we've missed. I'm about to ruin another tape measure. Make sure it's got my name on it. It hasn't. Guess whose this is? I'm happy about that. Oh, this is mine anyway. That's auto lock. Look after your tools and your tools will look after you. There we go. It's like new again. Not only did we put that one upside down, we also put this one upside down and then realised it was the wrong side. And now the right side has got glue all over it. Tell your mum I saved your life. That's looking nice. I feel like the tuner works.
The what? Man, what a productive day. We're almost halfway done with the subfloor now. This step of the project was really stressing me out. Like there were so many little details that we had to figure out, things I'd never done before, things that we had to measure and make sure we're straight and square. And like, this is essentially laying down the foundation for the entire rest of this house build. And I wanted to make sure it was right. And as we're laying this sheathing down and everything is just lining up how it's supposed to line up and going on how it's supposed to go on, it just reaffirms that everything we did was for a reason, for a purpose. And I'm so happy with how this is coming out. Tomorrow's gonna be a great day. I think we're gonna be able to get the rest of this OSB down and the lumber package for all the rest of the framing should be showing up mid-afternoon. So we'll see you tomorrow. I've been gone all morning running errands. I just got back from the lumberyard just in time to do the last sheet of subfloor. Dude, last sheet. I don't know what I did to deserve the help from these guys. Oh, done. Andy, what did you do to this thing?
I got hungry.
How do you work this one? Oh, you know. What does pressing it do?
So you can pull it out without winding it. Is it too technical?
I am not qualified to use this chalk line. Does it like have a gear reduction box inside of it?
I think it's got a transfer case. I've got like 3 marks here, Riley.
What in the world?
Okay, take 2.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Nice.
Oh, the orange is definitely better than the blue. That's it for this video, but make sure you subscribe because tomorrow we start framing walls and you're not gonna wanna miss that video. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.
Nee.